Hey, you guys, Felicia here, and I'm so excited that I finally fulfilled a promise that I had to you guys for a couple months now. I have new freebies for you, so head on over to trillandba.com and sign up for our freebies. And you will have access to all the content that I have already and all the new content coming forward. Now, the first freebie for August, and yes, I said first, which means there will be more. The first freebie for August is navigating the EEOC. So I took all the nuggets from the episode with Anitra K. Brown from a couple weeks ago, talking about how you know it's time to file with the EEOC. And I compiled that into a wonderful nugget-filled PDF just for you. So head on over to trillandba.com and cop that today, girl. So you are ready and prepared. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All right, now let's start the show. Welcome to the Trill MBA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Anuha, aka the Trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. So I am so excited today. I have a very special update treat for you guys today. So for you guys that have been rocking with me since last season, you will remember that there was an episode with me and my B-School bestie where we sat down and talked about how the huge losses of our mothers have shaped our thoughts on our careers and taking career breaks. So you can check out those shenanigans over at trillandba.com. And the name of the episode is Tragedy, Career Breaks, and Chick-fil-A. So today, Tiffany is back. Yay. It just takes her a lot to get on the show. I don't know why. She should just be on the show once a month, right, y'all? Y'all let me know if y'all want Tiffany on the show once a month. And we are going to talk about going back to work after our career breaks and things we wish we would have done on our breaks. And we're going to talk about our biggest life takeaways since last season's episode, which was last year. So welcome, Tiffany, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. I'm excited.
Yes, I've been trying to get you, though, to come back.
Okay, you already shaded me at the beginning. Okay, enough.
It's not shade when I love you so much and I just want you around all the time. Tiffany is like the little sister I always wanted. I always wanted a little sister and an older brother because I thought the way it could work is that my older brother would be like a year or two older than me. So I would date his friends. And then my little sister would be my bestie and she would just do everything I did. And we would just hang out all the time and be together all the time. And I know people are like, what the hell? And all my friends that have siblings, they're like, yeah, siblings are overrated. It's just like,
God bless them, but sometimes, yeah.
So Tiffany is definitely the little sister I always wanted. And God, you ask and he provides. Now I just need like an older brother who has really smart and fine and successful with money and education and very smart friends. So I got to work on that one.
We got to find them.
I know, right? I know. So Tiffany, last year we were both on career breaks, living our best lives and resting up for, going back. So what have you learned since you are now back in the matrix of corporate America?
Lord. How long is this episode today?
Well, Like, for me, I definitely have learned that I need to be intentional with what I'm going to spend my time working on, and that I need to be in tune with what my spirit really wants me to do. Like right now, I'm really on a faith walk. So like, now that you're back at work, what are your thoughts? Start with a positive thought.
A positive thought now that I'm back working.
Yes.
I would say the need to be in the moment, just live in the moment, folks. I feel like we spend a lot of time focused on what's to come and a lot of time reflecting on what has happened. And on some levels, it's necessary, but sometimes we do that too much and we just don't enjoy the moment. And so I had a lot of great moments throughout my career, Bank. And if I could do it again, I think I would focus on being in the present a little bit more.
So how are you trying to implement that today?
So I'm far from perfect at it, but I think sometimes it's just stopping and being comfortable with having time with myself, meaning I'm not worried about work and my face is not in a laptop. I'm not even necessarily, fellowshipping with friends or anything like that, but just sitting still and really reflecting on everything that I have to be grateful for right now. Instead of reflecting on what I don't have or what I could have, should have, would have done, like, God, thank you for everything that I have today.
Oh, let the choir say amen. That was a
Right.
that was
Cue
a word.
The tambourine.
Yes. Hallelujah. Yeah. I think if we can get our minds, spirits, and souls situated in gratitude, which is very hard to do in our society. And the reason why it's so hard to do is because a myriad of reasons, but in a work context, it's so hard to do because you're told from the outside, whether you're told directly or you're observing your environment, you're told you need to show up like this. You need to do what that person does. That person's on the fast track. So you need to mirror their energy and how they operate. Well, what if you don't operate like that? What if they're like an extreme extrovert and you're an introvert? And it's like, I don't even have the energy to be that. Like, that's not my strength. That's not what I'm bringing to the table. But there's all these signals that you need to be something you really don't need to be. It's hard trying to figure out how to be successful in corporate spaces, just being. And I've learned that now when I go back, because I'm on the verge of going back, there's an opportunity that I think is going to pan out here soon.
Okay.
And my bank account says, take your ass back. So I'm trying to be intentional about it. Like, I'm not jumping into any old thing, and I'm not jumping into what's comfortable real quick or, what I think I know. Because what I do know is in certain spaces, I'm quite miserable. And now that I have my mental health in a very healthy place, I am not giving that up for nothing. And so if I go back and I see my mental health is like being disturbed, my peace is being disturbed, I'm going to jump right back out.
No, I would certainly advise that. I can't think of any job that is worth your mental or physical well-being, because once you lose those things, it's very, very hard to gain them back and claw back to a place of healthiness and wholeness. So I totally love what you said, but I also get the practicalities of these bills, right? I think you call it Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper.
And for me here in Chicago, it's ComEd. All of them, like they got to be paid.
Yeah.
They don't, take well to lateness. So I get the practical need to have a job, but I think I speak for myself as well as your listeners. I hope that you don't lose sight of your purpose and the great work that you're doing to touch our lives. Like, we love the content that you publish. We love your rawness and realness, and you really are helping people. And I want you to know that. And for your listeners, she didn't pay me to say this, but I will talk to you after the call and see if we can make an arrangement for that plug.
No,
okay.
I just said I was broke. Like, You know, I don't have no advertisers just yet.
Yet.
You know what? So one of the things I'm working through in therapy is owning compliments, because clearly I have issues with owning compliments.
Are you blushing right now?
Yes. I'm like, no, Tiffany. Oh my God. Thank you.
You better not edit this out either.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And the reason why I talk about these things is because as Black women, we are out here. A lot of times we're by ourselves and we get in these bubbles and we're making this money and we think we're stuck and we think we're alone. And I wanted this show to be an exposure so people will know, like, wait, you're going through this too? Yes, girl. We all, in some form or fashion, either in the past, in the present, or you will go through it in the future as long as this country keeps operating the way it does and corporate America keeps operating the way it does, you gonna go through some shit. It's just what it is. But I want this podcast to be an encouragement for anybody who has a dream and a goal to be a leader, to walk into these spaces. And right now you may be the only one, but you grow your career, you learn, you become Black excellence personified, and then you bring the rest of us along with you. That's my goal, because there are no Black women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. There was one, and then, okay, there's a technicality that I do have to bring up. So Bed Bath & Beyond right now has an interim CEO that's Black, but she interim, y'all. She's supposed to just be on the board. So does that count? I don't know. If they make her full-time and not interim, then she'll be the second. But as long as this is a temporary situation and you've made it very clear that that's temporary, I don't count it. Fight me.
Man, I think we got work to do. And when I think about like leaders that I've worked for, I'm not just saying this because I am a Black woman, but some of the leaders that I've admired the most have been Black women. I'm actually very fortunate to work for one right now. And I just admire her style, how she's able to navigate the politics. I think she's a phenomenal leader, but it's just sad to me that we are not given the opportunities to really realize our full potential. Meanwhile, there can be a lot of mediocrity with some of our peers, but they're still allowed to fail up. I feel like I might be encroaching into a whole nother episode, but yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
But this is what you see. So I want to go back and talk about a little bit of the industry you came from, and now you're in a new industry, still doing marketing, but you're in a new industry. It's an adjacent industry. It's still, you know, food. We won't say company names because, you know, I'm not trying to get sued. But what have you found since you've gone back, even though it's a different industry?
Yeah, first and foremost, whether I had gone back to the same industry or made the industry switch like I did, I think I underestimated how hard it is to go back after a career break and just the sheer adjustment to routine again. So when I was on my career break, I felt like I truly owned my time. And granted, I can say I should have, you know, used the time wiser in some ways, but I still owned the time. Whereas when you work, on a lot of levels, your time is not always your own. And so that was a real big adjustment. And then secondarily, like you said, the learning curve is very steep when you switch industries. So I'm about 8 months into this new career, and it's just now starting to click for me. And there's still some clicking that needs to happen. But I guess the takeaway is, you know, when you make a big change, when you come back from a career break, give yourself some grace because you're going to need it.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because your high expectations ass. Listen,
I know.
It takes
type A.
It takes a whole business cycle, which is usually a whole year and maybe 2 or 3 months after, for you to really get to that point where you feel like, oh, I get it. I know what's happening now. I have never been in a role, and it took me less than a year to really feel like, okay, I got this. Like, it just doesn't. And so here you are at 3 months, 6 months, like, I should just have this by now. And I'm like, well, how, Sway? Like, what?
I know. I'm working on it. Work in progress. Great.
You got to give yourself a year. Yes, give yourself grace. There are some basic things that you need to do when you come into any new role. Like, you know, what sets you apart, them damn recap emails. In fact, I'm going to do a whole show on recap emails. I was thinking about this today.
You should.
It's the art and the
People
science.
need to document.
Yes, and it's helpful because the documentation is real. But recap emails, they set you apart because they not only help you be organized, they also help your team and your leadership get organized. And there's power in that, but you have to own it. And you have to be consistent. I have never been consistent at the recap email because I have this thing about being people's secretaries. Now, there's nothing wrong with secretaries. There's nothing wrong with administrative assistants. In fact, they're your best friends at the job. However, that's not what I get paid to do. I don't get paid to take the notes. I don't get paid to send you recap emails because you need it because you didn't take the notes. Like I'm not that bitch, okay? Just
I hear you, but I will say this. It can be a powerful tool to drive accountability. And I guess if you can find ways to make it as least painful for you as possible, but I would be an advocate of doing it, especially if it was your meeting. Like, I think that's just a way to show leadership. Like, hey, this is what we said. Here were the decisions that were made, and here's what I'm expecting from you by when.
Yeah, no. So if you own the meeting, that's different because you got to drive your agenda. I'm talking about you're participating and they look, you the only Black person in the room. You the only Black woman in the room. And they're like, hey, Felicia, can you take notes? Now, this happened to me. And I'm like,
oh, no. So what, you want me to get coffee too?
Right. I didn't go to a top MBA program full time, which means I wasn't working and making money while I was in school to take your goddamn notes. That is not what she does. So unless it benefits you and you're driving an agenda and there's just a specific benefit, or if it is in your job description, or if it's an expectation and everybody has to do it at your level, that's different. But if it's this white man and he old and he not used to somebody that look like you in his meetings and he telling you to write the girl...
Sound like some PTSD.
Girl, the things we have been through. Okay, Tiffany, we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, when we come back, I want you to talk about what you did during your break.
Oh, okay.
I want us to dig into some of those lessons of taking a break. And she did some crazy things, y'all. We'll come back.
Oh, whatever.
When I graduated, I knew I was going to take over the world. So how the hell did I get here sitting across from HR saying, well, what are my options? I didn't even have a chance to get a promotion. Are you feeling this way, sis? Trust me, I have been there. You work 10 times as hard and you don't even get close to half as far at work. And the harder you try, the worse your work situation seems to get. But what if I told you that you can turn it all around despite your boss, how he acts today, despite the microaggressions you experience, despite seeing others have success for doing way less work? You can get on the fast track at work too and be seen as high potential performing talent and gain your next promotion. If you are a highly ambitious MBA and you don't feel like your career is moving at the pace you thought it would, I have created the course for you. Win at Work Post MBA. Set yourself up to win over your boss, gain sponsors, and fast track your next job promotion. Go to trilliumba.com/courses and schedule your registration call with me. Spots are limited And I am definitely taking this so seriously to curate the right group of people to work with so that we can all rise together. So it's very important that you schedule your registration call as soon as possible. The course will start in August. Again, trilmba.com/courses and schedule time to talk about what you need to rise and thrive in corporate America. Now back to the show. All right, and we're back from the break. So Tiffany and I were just discussing, some of the things that we have taken away about being intentional about how you spend your time, things you need to think about, giving yourself grace when you go back from a job break, if you ever take a job break. But right now I want to get into like the hindsight. And I want to know, what did you do? How much time did you have off?
I took about a year off, all total.
That's beautiful. You needed it. So what did you do during that year? Where did you live? Because it's expensive to live.
I went back to Ohio, where my mother lived. And, I'm thankful that I was in a position to be able to take the time to not only take care of her, but also take care of her affairs after she passed. And, there's this saying that certain people leave wills and other people leave bills. Well, I unfortunately got the end of the stick where there were bills left and just issues, and just the sheer clean out of the house was a whole ordeal. So you ask what I did. I'd say part of the time was really around the administrative stuff that just had to be done around my mother's passing. Not fun, but I'm glad that I was able to do it uninterrupted by a job and all the responsibilities that come with that.
Right.
So that was a part of it. I would say another part, I did some volunteering. Ooh. And it was really to kind of help me define, okay, is this something that I might want to do in the future? So there's a great organization called SCORE. For your listeners who may be interested in starting a business, I highly recommend.
Yes.
SCORE offers free mentoring to people who are interested in starting their small business. So I was able to do that. And I met some cool people through that, even learned some skills. And also it reminded me how much business acumen I really have. Because sometimes in corporate, if you're not careful, people will beat you down and you'll feel like, well, I don't know anything. It's not true. When you step outside of these bubbles, you realize that you really do have a lot of knowledge. So it was helpful to me to be able to share some of that and pay some of that forward. I think if you ask me what is the thing that I'm most proud of during my break, it's probably reconnecting relationship-wise. So I was able to reconnect with my family back in Ohio that I hadn't really connected with in quite some time. I got to spend some quality time with friends. I think I came to Dallas at least once, right?
Yeah, you did. That was great.
Yeah. I was proud of that. And even though I'm working now, it's still important for me to make that a priority, to spend time with the people that I love. Because jobs come and go. A job can't love you back. But the people in your life, they do love you. They care about you. And I think you got to invest the time back in them. And again, I'm not perfect at that, but it is important to me to do that.
Listening to you say that, I was thinking, corporate America really is like a nigga. Really. It really is. It's like, he act up, you can break up with him and go find you another one. And you can't dish your friends and family for your nigga. You just can't. Because if he act up and then you done left them to be all about him, then when you come back, they're going to be like, well, where you been? Oh, no, all you did was work. You didn't care about us. You just work. And or you just with your nigga. So corporate America is a nigga.
I wasn't ready for the analogy, but it works. It works.
When you said it hit me, I was like, well, if that don't sound like a nigga you need to break up with,
That's deep. Okay.
So what should you have been doing while you were on your break, in hindsight?
In hindsight, I wish I would have spent more time getting in tune with my passion. I did some dibbling and dabbling, but I'll be honest, there was a part of me that panicked and was like, okay, chick, your bank account is dwindling fast. You don't have a plan. So in many ways, I kind of defaulted to what I knew. Yes, I switched industries, but as you mentioned, it's fairly adjacent, still within food. So I think I had an opportunity to make a more seismic shift in my life than what I ultimately ended up making. No regret per se, but I wish I would have spent that time unpacking, like, what am I really good at? What do I really enjoy? What brings me joy? How can I bring joy to others via what I do? So that's still work that I have to do, even though I'm now working again.
Yeah. And also for me, I realize it's like what brings me energy. I need to be doing things that bring me energy. When you go to a building full of people and you be there all day and you get home and you can't even hardly hold your head up. You can't watch your favorite show. You're just tired. Then people have zapped you. Hey, I don't know if that's the place for you to be. Like, you should be doing things that, like, you can get excited about, that give you energy. Like, when you get home, you're like, I did that today. And it should be something that maybe you can leave and, like, break from and not bring it home with you. Because all this working around the clock, it's not healthy.
It's not. It's so not healthy. And at a point, it's going to be diminishing returns. Like, I get working hard, but not to the point where it's a detriment to you, to your family, to your friends, to your health. Like, it's just not worth it.
No.
And they only pay you for a certain amount of time.
40 hours.
Let's be real.
40 hours. You salaried. They pay you for 40 hours. Your ass giving them 60 plus. What we doing? Why? Why are we doing it?
We got to learn how to be more efficient, how to push back, how to manage our managers, like all of that.
Yeah,
important.
Because we got to put ourselves first. And I think the problem is, as women in our society, we've been trained that everything outside of us is more important. And it is important for us to nurture everything outside of us. So whether it be our family, our friends, our jobs, we have been coerced in a lot of different ways, in very subtle ways, because it's like woven into the fabric of the expectations that society has for us. And so once you wake up and you realize, like, oh, I gotta rein this shit in, like, this ain't working, then you're like, okay. But then you get confused and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do different though? I think that's the hard part.
I so agree. And I think that that's where I found myself, and quite frankly, still find myself. Like, what is the do different for me now?
Yeah, it'll come. I think giving yourself grace, though, we can't repeat it enough. And that's the thing I learned the most on my break that is probably coming to an end here.
We got to talk about this.
I know, okay. Right? Because, Lord Jesus. I can't sit here and, like, be a light and a beacon of hope and be highly levered. Like, something in my spirit says it's not right.
Lifestyles of the highly levered.
Yes, lifestyle. Glamorous. Yes. Because how you going to be on unemployment flying business class overseas? Like,
I mean, live your life,
I'm trying to balance, but it's hard. And then, one thing I've really learned is that I need to be an adult. Like, me and this little 6-year-old that didn't grow up inside of me, we be fighting because she don't want to be doing shit. So, for example, my mom's house. So my cousin lives in my mom's house because basically my mama was like, let her stay there. And this was like a couple days before she died. So, this is all of that. And so it helps me in a way, but it also costs me money because at first my cousin wasn't paying any rent because my mama said, let her stay there for free. But I don't think my mama meant let her stay there forever for free. And after a while, I was like, look, you need to help. Because I'm paying money for you to live there. Like, what is this? This can't happen. And so Again, not adulting, and just putting my head in the sand because I didn't want to deal with stuff, right? So fast forward, her brother gets out of prison and he needs somewhere to stay. And so they just like, oh, he gonna stay with her. And I was like, okay, so y'all just telling me I don't feel like I had a choice in the matter.
Right.
And again, not wanting to deal with stuff. I just put my head in the sand and was like, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. Just don't burn down my house in case I run out of money and I have to kick y'all out and move home. So fast forward on July 31st, 2019 of the year of our Beyonce, a nigga gotta go to court because this fool, this jailbird, will not get out of the house. He's been living there for free for almost 2 years. And then my regulator cousin, who is the adult, she was like, look, it's time for you to go. And you got 60 days. And in those 60 days, you're going to pay some rent because you should have been paying rent. So it's time. It's beyond time. You're working. You had time enough to make a baby. So clearly, a whole baby. And the baby cute. I feel sorry for the baby. That's her daddy. Poor baby, she didn't ask for that. So now I got to go evict him because he decided that he wasn't going to pay, nor was he going to leave. Niggas.
Okay, with that, I feel like you're going to have to change the title of the show to, instead of Chick-fil-A, you got to think of a reference about jail. I don't know.
Well, the title of the show right now is Moving Past Tragedy, Career Breaks, but not Chick-fil-A.
Okay. There's a lot going on.
But
okay.
And so for me, I think the takeaway is when you get a career break, I know it's real easy to get into this, taking naps when you want to and, kind of just eating whatever you want, doing whatever you want. But really, you're an adult. You need to adult. So for me, I'm struggling to do the things to take care of my health. Like, I don't work out consistently. And I got all the time in the world to work out. I have no excuse now. There's no like, oh, but I work 65 hours a week and I'm just so tired. That's BS. So why am I not going to this gym in my neighborhood? Like, that's free. Like, what am I doing? And I know I'll give myself grace, but also I got to hold myself accountable. So I was focused on my mental health last year. Now I need to focus on my physical health. Because, honey, let me tell you, when we were at Essence, girl, I was tired.
And to run this race of life and to have the impact that you want to have, you're so right. You've got to focus on your physical health. And that's something that I'm focusing on, too. I'm on a wellness call with a couple other ladies, and a friend of mine is spinning up her coaching business. And she's like the epitome of wellness. She eats well. She exercises. She has that discipline. And so I'm hoping that I can just take a little of that away for myself, even though I'm working again, because it's so important. Again, like I said earlier, once you allow your physical or mental health to slip, you can come back, but it's definitely a clawing back to get back to healthiness and wholeness. So what can we do not to slip and keep ourselves healthy all around?
So what's the name of the coach?
Her name is Erin Brown.
Hey, Erin.
The name of her coaching practice is escaping me now, but perhaps we can put it in the notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
I think she has a great methodology. It's a 12-week program. There's accountability built in. So I'm all for getting all the help I can get on this journey.
Listen, we need to be asking for help. That's point blank, period. I think there's this idea of the superhero Black woman. I'm sorry, that bitch don't exist. No, stop. We're human. We're not superhuman. Yes, we do got some strong magical type DNA, but it's still human DNA. And it has its limitations, okay? So I don't want y'all looking at us talking about, well, you black girl magic. Yes, there is magic in the black girl, but the black girl is still a girl, and girls are human, which means we not superhuman like stuff made up on TV. So you cut me, I bleed. I don't eat, I'm tired. I don't drink water, my black cracks. Okay? Because I'm human. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the biggest lesson we have learned since our last episode last year. And you don't want to miss that because Tiffany has a huge lesson that she learned when we come back from the break. I have to shout out one particular review that I received recently. The title of it is That Part by Ginger854. And they left this on July 4th, which is a day of rest for us. And Ginger854 says, "It's taken me a moment to write this because I didn't want to leave anything out. I became interested in getting an MBA 2 years ago. Since then, I've been on a complete roller coaster until I found this podcast. Felicia, the host, is not a recent or aspiring MBA giving her 2 cents. She's also not an MBA consultant charging $10K to help you get into school. She's a Black woman dedicated to helping other Black women thrive. She's so real. If you've thought it, she's said it. She can explain it, and she has research and receipts to back her up on the reasons behind the trends we see with Black women in corporate America. From a place of humility, she shares super relevant guidance to help us make it over. Listening to these podcasts, I can't believe it's free and that someone would care this much and be as dedicated to helping us thrive. I've been telling everybody who will listen that this podcast is golden. I quote Trill MBA several times a week. I'm less distracted by the social pollution at work and more than ever motivated to stay focused on my journey to be my best self. Felicia, thank you for this show. May God bless you in your going out and coming in. So much love to you. I can't wait to see your next boss move." You guys, I love you guys. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I do this show because I have been through a lot in my life. And if I can help save you from some of the unnecessary BS, then that's what this show is all about. And if I can inspire you to keep going and keep trying and keep working hard, because sometimes you just want to stop and lay down and quit. But if I can keep you from quitting, I can get you over these humps. Just imagine how many Black women will be at the top of corporate America in the next couple years. Listen, what I need you to do is go on over to trillinba.com. I've got some freebies that I'm going to be giving out in August, but you got to be on my email list. And I want to make sure you guys get everything that I can give. I'm going to leave it all out on the table for y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And thank you for listening. Please, if you have any questions, concerns, email me, ask@trillinba.com. I am always down to help us. Now, let's get back to the show. And we are back. And I'm here with my B-School bestie, Tiffany, who is an incredible award-winning marketer. And we both were on an episode last season talking about how the losses of our most favorited person in the whole wide world affected us. We're both on career breaks. She ended hers early. I'm in the process of maybe ending mine. We'll see. I'll keep y'all updated. And then we'll see if I go back to work, we'll see if like all this advice I give, if I can actually follow it.
Oh my gosh. You better.
Y'all know I'm ignorant. I'm over here sending them that. I don't want to do no recap email.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need for you to go back and listen to your own episodes.
I will. I will have to listen to my own episodes to make it through.
You're going to have to encourage yourself. Cue the song. Yes.
But the biggest lesson I've learned since our last episode is that I need to have faith that it's all going to work out. I have not really suffered. I mean, my credit cards are hurting, but I'm not hurting. I'm eating. I'm living. We were in Essence. We had a great time. Did we not?
It was fun.
I mean, we were out in the streets sweating because it was hot, but we ate good. We slept good. Well, kind of, but we had a good time. And it always just works out. Like Sunday, I ain't have no ticket for Sunday. Like I should have drove back to Texas on Sunday like my cousins did. But I was like, I'll stay. I had a whole bed.
A whole bed.
A whole bed in a whole nice hotel room. I had a floor seat ticket. I ain't pay for that. But, you know, like, I'm broke, technically. No, I'm sorry.
No. Highly levered.
I'm highly levered. I'm highly levered.
It's all the positioning. You know we're marketers.
Yes.
Not broke. Highly levered.
I'm highly levered. I'm living a 45 life right now in my finances.
I can't with you.
I'm living on the fact that God takes care of babies and me. And just enjoying it too. Like, I have not been so happy. And what I really love is doing this podcast. I get to talk to so many people. I get to actually help people. And it just makes my whole day, week, month, year, like, this has been amazing. And I ain't sold no advertisement. It's still growing. Right now, there's about 5,000 downloads a month over the past couple months. We've been, steadily increasing every month. But, the mega hit podcasts are like, 100,000 downloads an episode. And I'm not there yet. But the fact that I have people who are like, yo, you helped me. Like, oh my God, this episode. And so that keeps me going because it's not about making money. It's about using what God gave me and doing what God wants me to do to help people, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help each other. So I'm on this faith walk and it's uncomfortable. It's not comfortable when you have a mortgage and you got property taxes and you got insurance. So yeah, this adulting is woof. But
it's rough.
I mean, I'm not hungry. Me and Chick-fil-A, we still together. We need to break up, but we ain't broke up this week. So I got a roof on my head. It's air conditioned. I still got all the cable.
You got good cable too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
lifestyles of the highly levered.
Yes, lifestyles of the highly levered. We should make that a show.
We should.
Now, what I don't do is I don't have like designer clothes and shoes. And so there's places where people spend their money that I don't spend my money. So I'm waiting to be able to spend my money on everything.
And it's going to happen.
Yes, it is. It is going to happen because soon here I feel in my spirit, reluctant faith, I'm going to have a job. So yeah, So what's the biggest lesson you've learned, Tiffany? Especially since you went back to work already.
Yeah. I guess if I could just be a cautionary tale, and I don't want this to be negative. I actually want to put a positive spin on it. When I was talking before about I still have work to do to find my purpose, I really encourage people to do that because I'll be honest, I don't think that I'm living in my purpose right now. I think that I'm doing what I need to do to pay bills and to continue to gain skills. But I just know in my heart of hearts, this is not the end all be all for me. And I'm still trying to do the work. So for those who have the luxury of taking a career break, like I really, really want people to spend that time getting to know themselves in a new way and understanding what you're good at and what you're passionate about. And I know it just feels so cliche to say it, but it's so real and so true. Because I'm just now at the point where I think I'm slowly turning the tide of being like, okay, I'm in this job. I'm going to get whatever I can out of it and still, find my passion. But it took me a while to get to this point, like 8 months to get to this point. So I'd say that was probably one of my biggest lessons. Oh, and another one, like, don't allow fear to rule the day. I think coming back to work, I had a lot of fear in me. Like, oh my God, I got to reprove myself again. This is a new industry. Oh my God. But again, I'm slowly but surely realizing that all those people that I work with, they have to put their pants on one leg at a time like me.
Amen.
Nobody is superhuman, like you were just saying, Felicia. Amen. So just don't allow fear to rob you of your joy or rob you of your faith. And, just step out.
So before we get out of here, Tiffany, what do you think the next year holds for you? Like, if you had a wand, what is the one thing you want to see happen next year for yourself?
Ooh, that's deep. The one thing?
Just one?
Just one?
Well, I mean, you can have more than one, but what's the main thing?
Yeah.
And you got to keep it trill.
Yeah. I think it goes back to fully letting go of fear. And, just putting myself out there more and stepping out on faith. So, yeah, that would be my biggest hope for me, to let go of all fear.
So what would that look like?
It would look like me taking more risk, both professionally and personally.
Ooh, I like that. So maybe you would get married next year?
Maybe, from your lips to God's ears.
You got to go out on a date first.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with putting all my personal business out there like this. I'm working on it, okay?
Hey, everybody. Tiffany, she's so cute and she's like sassy, sexy. And she's so smart and she's single. She don't have a ring on it. So shoot your shot if you're in Chicago. Shoot your shot.
I can't with you right now.
If you have a friend that is God-fearing, loving, decent, kind, giving, trusting, trustworthy, then ask at trillandba.com. I will hook it up.
Yes, and not highly levered.
Levered. You cannot be highly levered. In fact, you should not really have student loans at this point.
Yeah, add that to the list.
I mean, if you do, don't let that stop you. If you have everything else, but you just got some student loans left, go ahead.
We can still work
with it. We can figure it out.
Oh, God. Hilarious.
So my biggest hope for next year is that I transition out of marketing, food, and all that stuff, which doesn't look like that's going to happen this year if I get this job. But my hope is to transition into media and entertainment full time. I really want to have a TV show that would then grow into me having multiple TV shows that would then grow into me having like multiple podcasts, multiple TV shows. And my big thing, which I guess I don't believe it could happen in a year, but I don't want to limit God. So let me not say that.
That's right.
I don't want to put any limits on my creator. But ultimately, what I really want to manifest and see is a network that's called the Happy Network. And all that's on this network is happy shows. So comedy, romantic comedies, but like real lighthearted and happy, talk shows that are happy. Like all you do is you find the news, even all the news on the network is happy news. So you go out and you find the best stories, pictures of kittens and shit, kittens and puppies playing together. That is the cutest shit. That is like, who doesn't smile?
Yeah, you can't really be sad watching that.
Exactly. And like little kids, because even I was watching PBS and it was still like, because they have documentaries and stuff. And so they're talking about the shits, right, that's going on now. And I'm just like, I can't even escape with PBS. Goddamn. I just need a place to go where I can be inspired and have my spirits uplifted and told that it's going to be okay and just be happy. And don't get me wrong, like I'm always going to put God in everything I do. But like when I watch TBN, trying to get happy, it's like, there's some things that God needs and wants and all. And I'm like, I know that, but can we just talk about just God loves you? Can we just be happy? I just need to see happiness reflected in my media. And I mean, all people of all colors. Like, I want to create a world, like if we have a futuristic show that like everybody is in the future. I don't know if y'all noticed this, especially if you go back to like the 70s and the 80s, anything that had like futuristic things in it, if it had a Black person, it was like one Black person and maybe they weren't quite Black. They were like another alien life form or some shit. Like they weren't even human. For white mainstream media, a lot of times when there's stuff in the future, Black people are represented and they don't exist. And I'm like, so basically you saying you see in your future that we don't exist.
I never paid attention to that, but that's an interesting insight.
Listen, media means things. And that's why I do this podcast, because I wanted us to be seen and feel seen and know like you aren't alone. You are human. We're going through these things, but we can get through these things. So I want to call out the shits of corporate America, but I also want you to know that that doesn't define you. That doesn't mean you're stuck. That doesn't mean you can't overcome. That doesn't mean you can't get to another place, a better place. That doesn't mean that you can't rise and be at the top just because of these situations here, here, and here, and here. And it means that you don't give up. You don't give up on yourself. You don't stop believing in yourself. Like you stick to what your spirit is telling you where to go. And you do that thing wholeheartedly and you do the best you can and you let that shit go. Because you can't control them other motherfuckers. You can only control yourself. So love on yourself, give yourself grace, do your best. Black excellence is real and live in it. But sometimes you come up against things and there is no answer, right? In that moment. And the only answer is you got to come to God and submit to it. Like, you just got to be like, universe, I need you to come in and fix it. And that's okay. But that doesn't mean lay down and give up. Surrendering and giving up are two different things.
Every voice make a choice.
You preaching today. I'm listening.
I just, I be feeling things in my spirit and
you got to let the people know.
I got to let the people know. Because this corporate journey is hard. It's so hard. And dealing with people. Because humans will human. They just human. Like being human.
And I try to remind myself, especially with dealing with leadership or dealing with difficult meetings or difficult colleagues.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah. You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out. Did you see the memo about this? Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great. And, I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
Yeah, no, I have the memo. I've got it. It's right.
Hello, Phil.
Like, at the end of the day, like, these are people. And I try my best to lead with humanity. Now, it's not always reciprocated, but I try to lead with it because I know what I went through with the tragedy of losing my mom and other sort of tragedies in life. And you never know what that person in that cube is going through or who's sitting next to you in the conference room. So we're just, like you said, we're just human at the end of the day, regardless of if we're Black, white, Hispanic, male, female, whatever. Yeah, let's not lose our humanity, folks. And I feel like sometimes in corporate spaces we forget our humanity. It's really sad.
I don't know what happens when you get a group of more than 5 human beings into a building and tell all of them, hey, y'all all came here, you badged in, you got a desk maybe, and you got a computer and we need you to work. And I don't know what that does to human beings, but it's scary because some of y'all lose y'all goddamn minds. Your whole entire goddamn mind. And I'm talking to everybody, Black, white, Hispanic, don't matter race, gender. It's people think crazy things and they do things and they have behaviors that they don't do at home. I'm like, would you treat your family members like you treated your coworker?
Hope not.
Right. And then sometimes you wonder, like, because some people you work with and you're like, oh, they must be beating on their spouse. Because that's how crazy they act at work.
Or you know what I think it is? I think they're being beat by their spouse.
Oh.
And then they come to work and they're bullied. Maybe they, are being bullied at home. I don't know.
Something.
But it is some crazy stuff.
Right. It's like we need to get everybody in corporate America needs to be in therapy.
I agree. Everyone, like day one orientation, you get assigned a therapist.
Yes.
You get a therapist. You get a therapist.
Right.
You get a therapist.
Where's Oprah? Oprah, give us therapists. Forget cars. Give us therapy.
Right. Oh,
it's funny because it's true. Listen, Tiffany, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I know firsthand it's not easy. Grief is a process. And I think the hardest part is the world keeps going and you're like forced to like move along. And you're like, but I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know.
Girl, I still have many moments and days where I'm like, yep, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I keep going.
God,
I keep going.
You just got to keep going. And so I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me, proud of us. I thank God for you. I thank you for sharing your wisdom with my listeners. You may be a little younger than me, but sometimes you just come through with the knowledge. I be learning from you. I be like, dang, okay, let me go get my life then.
Thank you.
But I appreciate you.
And like,
you need real friends to tell you the truth about yourself. That's what you need in your life. So Tiffany is one of those friends for me. If you don't have a friend like that, well, you can't have Tiffany. She's already, she don't answer the phone that often anyway, so you know.
Okay, you know what? You keep coming for me in this call. I did not send for you. It is.
She is my cut up buddy. And clearly y'all see we be cutting up, but she has been there for me. I can't even Y'all don't even know. Like, get you good friends. And if you don't have good friends, you need to be a good friend because that's how you get good friends. So look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why you don't have no good friends. And then change and go get you some good friends because we need each other. We need to help each other. We need to ask each other for help. We need to be honest with each other. We need to hold each other accountable. And we need to love on each other. So now that I've said all of that, Tiffany, are there any final words of wisdom you want to share with the listeners before we get out of here?
Stay black? No. No, I just reiterating a lot of the points that were already made. Don't let fear rule the day. Keep the faith. Be encouraged. You know, tragedies and storms, they come. Very few of us, you know, exit this life without experiencing something traumatic. But I hope that through me and you telling our stories, we can encourage people that there is another side to it. There is a happily ever after that you can have, even after going through the worst thing. And it's a journey, like you said, grief and pain, it's a journey. But I'm thankful that I have advanced from the last call. I think I've grown tremendously from then, and I'm still growing. So I think we got to do another update a year from now, and I hope to have grown even more by then.
Yeah, and I hope in that update we're both married.
Yes.
Yes.
And not highly levered.
And not highly levered. We're both married and not highly levered. Yes. And so, you guys, if you need some help or advice about specific work situations and not about your dating life, because we're trying to get it together ourselves.
Yeah, I can't help you there. Sorry.
But ladies, send your sons age 33 to 42. Does that sound about right?
We can even bump that up to 45.
Yeah. 33 to 45. If you have a son who act right, send him our way. But you can go to trillandba.com/coaching and schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me to strategize and walk through your specific work situation. And work situation, you guys. In addition, you can always email me at ask@trillandba.com. I'm always happy to either answer your question or connect you to the right person like Tiffany. If I don't have the answer, and I know she can help you. And I have a great network of colleagues, friends, MBAs, you know how we do. And we help each other. So again, that's trillandba.com/coaching for a free 30-minute consultation with me. Or ask@trillandba.com to submit your question or concern. Or if you just want to tell me hi, like I love hearing from you guys. If you have a great happy work story, send that my way because I could use some happy work stories. If y'all saw some of the emails I've been getting the last 2 months, I just don't know how we make it.
Girl.
By the grace.
The blood.
Yes. I know it was the blood. Let me stop. Oh, God. Tiffany, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you, too. And thank you for having me.
So, cue that music. We out. Until next time, keep it trill, y'all. The Trill MBA Show is a Fair World Corp. LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Enuha. Music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.